Today, we're going to be talking about why I chose Instagram as the marketing platform to grow my business. Because it was a choice I made, right? I get a ton of questions from therapists asking me if they have to be on Instagram. And the truth is, no, of course, you don't need to be on Instagram. There are tons and tons of different ways for you to market yourself as a therapist in private practice. But Instagram is what I've done to not just build my practice, which was super successful, by the way, but also to scale beyond that with brand deals, courses, coaching, memberships, and so much more. So, of course, I'm going to teach what I know because I grew my business with Instagram and I've literally helped thousands of other therapists grow their business with Instagram too. So, if you're thinking about Instagram and you're unsure if it's the right platform for you, or maybe you started your therapy Instagram account already, but you're tired of all the work it's taking and you're thinking about giving up or trying something different, this one is for you. In this episode, I'm going to share the 5 reasons why I chose to market myself on Instagram and why I believe Instagram will get you the best results. And that's just like the best dopamine hit, right? Like when people start liking, commenting, saving, following, reaching out to you from Instagram, it is so, so, so exciting. But before we jump into this episode, I want you to know that you can trust me with this stuff. There is such a big rise in business coaches out there that frankly do not know what they're doing, with people reselling marketing courses that can feel kind of spammy, and lots of therapists going into business coaching because they think that must be where the money is at. It's important that you are learning from people who've gone where you want to go. That the people who are teaching you how to market yourselves on Instagram are actually experts in marketing themselves on Instagram too. Because I wouldn't teach you about Google Ads because I've never ran a Google ad, right? I've not had success with them. I don't know a thing about them. So you should not trust me with things like Google Ads. But Instagram, I'm your girl. I have a therapy page, Sit with Kelly, that I grew from 0 to 10,000 followers in a year. It's up to 90,000 followers now, by the way. I filled my caseload with private paid clients from Instagram, and I earned $250,000 my first year as a private practice therapist. Only after all of that did I start teaching other therapists how to market themselves on Instagram. And now I've helped literally thousands of therapists grow their Instagram pages. I started my second Instagram page, Business of Therapy, and also grew that second page from 0 to 10,000 followers in under a year. So now I have over 120,000 followers across both Instagram pages. I'm saying all this to tell you to be careful where you're getting your information from, right? I teach what I know. Instagram is what I know. And trust me, it is the best marketing platform out there for therapists. Now, let's get into things. I want to rewind for a second back to 2020. It was COVID, right? Everybody was staying at home. I was scrolling way more than I would like to admit. I was over my job. It was like the only thing I was doing was working. I was super restless. My mental health kind of sucked, if I'm being honest. And I was just seeing lots and lots of other therapists online. And I felt really like inspired by them and honestly kind of jealous, right? And I wanted what they had. I wanted a business of my own. I wanted a platform to be able to share. I wanted an outlet for creativity. I wanted a job that felt fun instead of stressful. So I'm not sure that at the time I really consciously picked Instagram for any particular reason, right? I used it like in my personal life, not as an influencer or anything, just with my friends and family. And I loved it, right? Like it was kind of my main way that I would connect with my friends on social media as opposed to TikTok or Facebook or something. As I said, I followed a few super big therapists on Instagram that I really looked up to. And I just decided to go for it, right? And at the same time, if I'm being totally honest, I started an Instagram page and I started a TikTok page. I started a Pinterest page and even started a Twitter. I don't tweet, I'm not a Twitter person, but I even started a Twitter and was really doing all of these things at once. But what I quickly saw was there was a huge, huge, huge difference between the traction I was getting on Instagram compared to all of these other platforms. And there was a huge difference in how it felt too, right? I was making relationships on Instagram and I was having fun. So even before I started to get results of like clients on my caseload from Instagram, it was really, really clear to me how Instagram would help me grow my practice because I was meeting other people, right? I was like seeing that these people could refer to me down the road. And not just that, but from the start, I knew that I wanted more, right? I knew, I think deep down, that I wasn't just building a private practice, but that I was going to want, a diverse business with multiple income streams. And I knew from like following other therapists and business owners that this was possible, right? Like before COVID, I was not somebody who followed any girl bosses or entrepreneurs or anything like that on Instagram. But once I started to, it really opened up a whole new world of possibilities for me. And I wanted in, right? I had so many ideas for courses, for brands I wanted to partner with, for speaking gigs I wanted to do. And I knew that Instagram would be really, really helpful for me in the long term to build something super, super scalable. So I went all in. Okay, now let's talk about what this actually looks like, right? What are the 5 ways that you can use Instagram to help you grow your practice? Number one, relationships for networking is such a big one that is like so underrated. I don't think it's talked about nearly enough. And it was my favorite part about being on Instagram in the beginning because I did not have a single friend in private practice. Not a single one, right? And it was so cool for me to talk to other therapists who were doing the same thing. Suddenly, I had hundreds of friends who were therapists in private practice, and I could just see what was possible, right? Some of us were new to Instagram, some of us were new to private practice, some people were like established and had been in Instagram and in private practice for a long time. And it was so, so, so cool to just like be motivated by other people and to connect and to genuinely build relationships. And it wasn't long until I started actually getting clients from my new internet friends, and it paid off like tenfold. So, relationships and networking is such a big piece of Instagram. Number two is you will get massive reach with Instagram Reels. So, Reels had just come out in August 2020, and I started my Instagram page 2 months later in October 2020. So, Reels were brand new when I started. And I was, of course, really scared to be showing up and creating content online, but I saw this as an opportunity and I took it, right? In my mind, I was like, heck, this whole Instagram thing is scary enough, anyways. It's already super embarrassing. I might as well go all in and really, really go for it and get results. Because if not, failing, right? Not like growing on Instagram, not getting clients, not being able to have my own practice, that would have been more so embarrassing than just making some reels. And so that really inspired me to go for it. And once I did, I was just like blown away. I was reaching thousands of people and I had literally like no followers on Instagram, like less than 100 followers when I made my first reel, and was reaching thousands of people. And so it was so cool for me to see like how quickly you could get results from doing something like reels, in terms of reaching new people. And it was also like really quick and fun to make. Um, you know, if you're like making Instagram graphics, they can take kind of a long time in Canva, but with a reel, you can make it really quite simple. And so I was able to like knock out reels in 10 minutes, right? And reach thousands of people. And I just thought that that was so cool and so fun. And I absolutely loved it. And to be honest, reels have always come pretty easy to me once I got over this fear of like being on camera. My brain just kind of works in that way of coming up with like fun and effective ideas that are, relatable and that help to build that community and build that trust. But if that's something that you struggle with and it doesn't come so easy for you, I totally get that. I know that that's not the case for a lot of therapists. I would definitely encourage you to check out my Reels membership for therapists, where I plan 4 reels for you every single Monday and tell you exactly what to post. So that way you can actually knock them out in like 10 minutes a piece too. So, anyways, side note. Reason number 3 why I love Instagram and why I think that it is the best platform for you if you're trying to fill your caseload is Instagram stories, right? So, as somebody with anxiety, showing up as myself with new people has always been pretty hard, right? I'm somebody who gets very in my head and I start wondering, how do people want me to be? What should I talk about? Will it be awkward? I don't know if you can relate to that. If there's any other anxious therapists listening. But there is something really freeing about showing up and interacting with new people on Instagram. It felt like I was like putting my work hat on instead of like my personal hat, right? And I'm really good at work, so it kind of came easy for me. And I'm wondering if that might be true for you too, right? Like it's probably easier for you to show up and build rapport with a client when you're meeting with them for the first time in session than it is to talk to a stranger at a party, right? I know that's definitely true for myself. I can make small talk, I can make people comfortable, when we're in session together, I can help warm them up, I can make them, feel comfortable. But if I'm like going to a party or something, I am so nervous and so in my head, and that doesn't come easy to me at all. And so for me, kind of like thinking of Instagram stories in particular as me showing up to work, me building rapport with my future clients, it was so much easier for me to do that. So that's a little hack for you. I want you to try that and see how that works for you. But anyway, so I was showing up on stories a lot. When I first started my Instagram account, I made a little personal challenge for myself that I was going to show my face every single day on Instagram, either in Reels, where I was reaching thousands of new people by posting a Reel, or if I wasn't posting a Reel that day, I would show up on Instagram stories and have my face be to the camera and talk and all of that. And so that was really kind of a helpful combination because with the Reels on one hand, I was reaching, tons of people. And on stories, I was building connection with those people, right? The people from Reels that actually chose to follow me were getting to know me, right? And like building that connection with my existing following. And it was the most beautiful combination and had the most like beautiful thing happen, right? My following grew. And the people who were following me really, really felt like they got to know me. They liked me. They trusted me. They started asking how to work with me. Other therapists started asking how to send clients my way, started reaching out and asking to grab a virtual coffee. People were responding to my stories and telling me how cute my outfit was or asking me questions about anxiety. And I started to build that community, right? That is really what building your business on Instagram is based off of. That is the foundation of like having relationships with other people on this platform. And so stories are really going to be your secret weapon for growing your business with Instagram because it's where you get your followers to actually do something, right? The people who are watching your stories are your most loyal followers. They're the ones who are most interested in your content. And stories are also set up really, really well to tell those people who are most interested in what you have to say to take a next step, right? Whether that is to schedule an intro call, to download a freebie and join your email list, to buy an offer that you're selling. The best place to do all of that is Instagram stories, right? It's super, super easy for them to take the next step, to take that action with a link sticker because you can actually put a link directly in your Instagram story so people can do that while they're listening to you talk about it. And side note, if you're trying to get clients from Instagram, I want you to make sure that you have an intro call scheduler set up. You can do this in your electronic health record. I personally use Jane for this. I'll put a link and code in the show notes for you so that way you can try Jane for 2 months for free. But seriously, an intro call scheduler is going to make all of the difference. You will convert so many more people if you have like an intro call scheduler versus telling them to email you, right? Because when people have to email you to set up an intro call, they have to decide what to say. They have to wait to hear back from you. You have to go back and forth on dates, all of that. Trust me, an intro call scheduler is going to change the game and you are going to get way more intro calls on your calendar. Okay, back to the meat and potatoes of this episode. So, reason number 4 why Instagram is the best. Honestly, it is fun. It is the funnest way that you can market yourself, in private practice. It is way more fun than SEO. It's way more fun than blogging. This is your business. You get to do things your way. So pick something that you enjoy and build something that you love. So if you're somebody who looks at other people on Instagram and you think, man, I wish I had that following, or I can't believe she gets to make silly little videos as her job, or that looks like so much fun. Instagram is for you. This is your chance to kind of like blend work and pleasure together, right? You get to make friends on Instagram, you get to be creative. I honestly just love it so, so much. And I think that that's really helpful with like inspiring you and motivating you to stick to it, is actually doing something that you enjoy. And then reason number 5 why Instagram is the best is that it is truly a scalable platform, right? It is the best way for you to not just like fill your caseload, but go way beyond that by building a loyal community of people who trust you and who want your help. So Instagram is great for filling your caseload, right? I think we've established that. It took me 3 months to get my first client from Instagram. I was starting with 0 followers and no courses to help me, by the way. But once I got my first client, I was totally full with private pay clients after that who were paying me $250 a session less than 6 months later. So Instagram is really, really effective in bringing you private pay clients and filling your caseload relatively quickly. But if I'm being totally honest, there's tons of different ways that you can fill your caseload. And I teach a lot of them inside of my course, the Private Practice Academy bundle too. So you've got Psychology Today, you have search engine optimization on your website, you can do networking. And if you're starting from scratch, I honestly think it's best to do a combination of all of these things to help fill your caseload rather than relying 100% on Instagram only. And that's why when people ask me, do I need to be on Instagram to have a 6-figure private practice? My answer is always no, right? Like, yes, Instagram is amazing to help you fill your caseload, and there's so many other things that you can do to fill your caseload too. But if you're somebody that's hopeful to ever scale beyond one-on-one therapy, my answer to that question is actually different. I would argue and say, yes, you do absolutely need to be on Instagram if you want to scale beyond one-on-one therapy. Because you need a community of people to sell your other offers to. Whether it is a course, whether it is a coaching program, whether it's a membership site or workshops, or if you want brand deals, you need people that are like in your community that like you, that trust you, that want to work with you to buy these things. And a website is not going to cut it for that, and neither is networking. You need a platform that is yours, that, is social, that has people who are really excited about what you have to say. And I found that Instagram is the best platform to scale with. There is so much opportunity to reach new people and to go deep with them and to really build that connection. And it is therefore way better at converting all of those people into customers than other platforms like TikTok or Pinterest or something. Trust me, I've tried it, and I've worked with many, many, many other therapists who've tried it as well. Instagram is the best for actually converting people into courses, memberships, to getting high-paying brand deals, all of it. So I want to recap and make sure that you know your homework. So I'm going to give you some action steps here to really make sure that you are implementing what you learned today. I hope you're leaving this episode today with some renewed excitement for Instagram and belief that you can really, really do this. I know how scary it is to put yourself out there and to go for it, but the best advice I can give you is to just start doing the things that scare you. Make your account and get on Instagram. It is awesome, and it is going to be so life-changing. So let's recap. Number 1, networking is such an underrated benefit of Instagram. I want you to go ahead and ask another therapist that you've already DM'd with previously to grab a cup of coffee. Take the networking from Instagram into like real life, whether it is an in-person coffee or a virtual coffee. Get off of the app and actually network and get to know somebody. Number 2, you have massive potential to reach thousands of people every day with Reels. So go ahead, film a Reel, post it today. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just go ahead. And if you need an idea for what to post, you can go ahead and join the Reels membership for that. I'll include the link in the show notes here. Number 3, stories are your key to converting your followers into clients and customers. So I want you to try talking in your stories to sell, and make sure that you have a scheduling link set up so your future clients can self-schedule an intro call with you too. Number 4, I don't want you to actually take action and work on creating anything like a course until after you filled your caseload, but I do want you to go ahead and brainstorm some ideas, because I think that it'll be really motivating for you and inspire you to keep going with this whole Instagram thing if you can see the bigger picture of where you're going. So if you're somebody who is like, yes, I want to use Instagram to fill my caseload and I have 1,000 other ideas, make a note in your notes app on your phone of like future fun ideas and just start writing them down as they come to you. It's going to be so good for you to have to look back on when your caseload is full in a few months and you're ready to take action. And then number 5, I want you to have fun. Do a silly reel that you normally wouldn't do. Go out for your favorite ice cream and post it. Do something that doesn't feel like so heavy and so therapy all the time, because it really does not need to be that serious. All of your success is waiting for you when you take action. So seriously, do these 5 action steps and you are going to get results. If you need help with growing your private practice with Instagram, I would absolutely love to support you. And there's 2 ways that we can do that. Number one is the Reels membership, which I've already referenced a few times in this episode. But basically, it's $37 a month. And every single Monday, I will send you 4 Reels ideas totally planned out for you. This is perfect if you're somebody who struggles to come up with ideas or to stay consistent. It is a simple, no brainer offer that literally I'm like your little assistant for the week, telling you what to post, what sound, what to say, all of it. And then the second way to work with me is in my signature program, the Private Practice Academy Bundle. And this is really your comprehensive A to Z roadmap of every single thing that you need to grow your Instagram account and to build a 6-figure private practice. If you have any questions, my DMs are always open. Send me a DM on Instagram at Business of Therapy and let me know what you thought of this episode. And I'll talk to you soon.